I think that's great.
Oh, I already taped, but hi everyone. So today we want to talk about manifestation. We can manifest good or bad because we are the creator. So, we haven't really touched the topic of the manifestation, but this is very important because when we shift to 5D, we are totally manifesting in the New York minutes. So right now
Exactly.
we are the practicing our manifestation ability. Plus, we gotta be responsible for what we are manifesting. We're creating because we are the creator. We are, making our timelines. People think you are manifesting like it's like making the object appear or something. It's not like that. We are totally creating new timelines with everybody in it. That's what's happening, new timelines. So of course, as a creator, we got to be responsible for what we are focusing on and stuff like that. So we're going to share this with our personal experience, good or bad, what we manifested and stuff like that. And hopefully you can enjoy it. So what is your personal experience about manifestation, Sue?
The word that you used, what we are focusing on, that to me is the absolute key to
Mhm.
anything we would wish to manifest.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I am thinking, say I'm watching TV and every time, maybe I come from a family where there was a lot of illness, like maybe
Mhm.
chronic diseases okay, and then you go to the doctor and they tell you, well, you're at risk because you have a family history of this. So it's adding to your belief system, your focus of, oh, maybe I'm going to get this disease too. And then you watch your TV and there's a commercial on for some drug that they're trying to push and they have all these symptoms listed and you go, oh, I had that. Well, I have this sometimes. Oh, that maybe I have this disease. Okay, we can bring that right into ourselves because of that continued focus on illness or disease. So we don't want to do that. Okay, and I have done that in my life. In my younger years, my mother, you know, I don't think she'd mind me sharing. She was one of those people that was chronically addicted to illness. She just brought it in at all times. So she would one thing would resolve, or she'd have a surgery, or she broke her back when I was 2 years old, and I was in the car with her. And it's just been so. I've never known my mother to be a healthy individual. Where my dad described her before that accident as being very healthy and energetic and athletic and all these things that I have manifested in my life. So anyway, long story short, she would be what we would call in human terms, kind of a hypochondriac, right?
Mhm.
And so I don't like to label things. I don't like to label people. That sounds like kind of like a dirty name to me. To me, there was something she was getting out of this illness, and I don't know if it was avoidance of stepping into her true power. I don't know if it was the attention that she never received as a child.
Mhm.
I have my suspicions about her motives for wanting to be ill all the time, and I don't mean consciously wanting. Okay.
Subconsciously.
So I'm not saying she went through life going, oh, what's the next disease I can have? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are people that unconsciously manifest disease and illness into their lives. There's always a reason for it. So
Mhm.
what are you trying to avoid? What are you trying to bring to you? Do you need attention? Do you need to feel that people around you care? Medical care, treatment, that sort of thing, that brings along its bag of positive things because you have human interaction. As a child, did you not have care? Did you not have attention? I know that was the case for my mother. My grandparents both worked in a factory, shoe factories, and my grandfather was an alcoholic, and my grandmother just did everything in the house for all these people that lived there. There were multiple families in this house, and she took care of everybody. So where did that leave my mother? She was very lonely, lonely child. And when the one person in the family that lived there that did give her attention passed away, it was like she was adrift. Okay. And it
Mm.
wasn't that my grandmother didn't love her, she just wasn't around. And
Yeah, busy.
was so full of responsibility. So I take and break down all of these different possibilities about why my mother brought illness into her life. But the fact of the matter is, the word you used, focus, what are we focusing on? That's the key. Okay. So for me, every day I wake up and I think I am perfect health.
Uh-huh.
I am
Oh,
I am creator. I do my I am statements. I remind myself every day that I am all powerful and I am creating my awareness. What's your take on it?
I'm very visual. I was in the movie industry, so I'm very visual. So affirmation stuff never worked on me. However, when I make mind movie, Dr. Joe Dispenza is suggesting, I made my own mind movie about my future and what I want and nice music with visual stuff in it. And then I watch that every day as soon as I wake up. I do that.
Nice.
And then also, um, I make myself feel in certain condition when I'm with someone, my future husband, what makes me feel. And then I just gonna bathe myself in that feeling. I don't have to see him. I can feel it, right? And then
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah. I love the creative visualization. And I threw the word creative in there because we are the creator.
Hmm.
Okay, so it isn't like, oh, an art project. That's not what we're talking about. When
Yeah.
you, right? It's not like we're going to class now, we're going to create a pretty picture. We're going to create an amazing picture. And what we're doing is we're weavers. We're putting that into our reality because we can see it. And if we can't see it, we can at least feel it.
Uh-huh.
That's no less creative than seeing it. Okay, so if you're not great with visualization, go ahead and practice. The more we practice, the better we get at it. We find this with our quantum healing clients, right? When we do a session, we
Oh
do a
yeah.
hypnosis. Some folks come in and they get
They don't see
8 by
anything.
10 pictures, and others don't see anything and they get really concerned about it. And so, our job as practitioners is we help them work on their visualization skills. And usually, it doesn't take that much work, but
Or, you
takes
know,
focus.
some people are visual, some people auditory, some people are kinetic. So if some of my clients, when they come and they don't see anything, it's okay. I ask them how they feel, or do you have any kind of story comes up into your mind?
Yeah.
That is fine too. You don't have to see everything, because a couple of the clients I saw, they think, I don't think I'm hypnotized. I don't think I'm hypnotized. And then I told them, whatever you feel is fine. And then they thought, one, they're going to be under anesthesia kind of condition. So
Yeah, yeah,
they're going to start seeing everything like a movie, but not everybody mind visual, right? Some people
yeah.
are not visual at all.
Well, I put that right on my website. Like anybody that's interested in a session, I talk about that because and I always refer a client to read my website before we set up a session. So I really want them to know what they're getting into. And then I send a letter out as
Yeah.
well to prepare for the session, which reinforces what you just said. We
Mm-hmm.
have so many more senses than just the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, the body feeling like touch. We have way more senses than that. And we never know what's going to work for us. But so,
Yeah,
like you said earlier, if you're not getting the visual, you can practice it, but also get into the feeling of it. What would it feel like to have this next person come into my life,
yeah.
that's going to be my partner?
Especially when you are not really, you haven't met the person, or you haven't found the perfect place to go for the trip. All you can feel is feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people are still left brain kind of people. I mean, I still am part of me. So unless I have a clear idea, like, let's say this is the next place I want to go visit in my trip, I can't really visualize it. So I have to feel it, right?
Yeah.
But that's the same effect because my guide is saying feeling the feeling when you manifest things are most important. You don't have to actually see it.
I agree. And what about the people that just know stuff,
That's
right?
fine too because that's a clear cognizant.
Yes.
So that's fine too. Whatever the knowledge pouring out of your head, that's like you are using your skills to manifest things, right?
Yeah, and like you said, the people that are left brain, they tend to, those are your analytical people, your people that like to have things known ahead of time, that want it in black and white. They love that order and the structure and the predictability, right? So
Mhm.
that left brain person may have clear cognizance, may just know things, but they're going to delete that information, or they're going to go against it because their
They're not
left
feeling.
brain tells them, well, that doesn't make any sense. How could I possibly know that? So realize that when you're manifesting, if that's how things come through for you, maybe you feel it and you know things. Okay, because
Yeah,
that's me. So I'm kind of talking about me. um,
but
when you
joy.
start to trust those abilities
Uh-huh.
and go with the feelings of the good stuff, the what you want, not the icky stuff, not the stuff that you've been through in the past that you've already gotten past. Don't focus on the past because past is gone. It's not, we're not changing it. What we're doing when we talk about manifestation is we're moving forward. So focus on those feelings that are the good ones. And whenever you think about the outcome that you wish to have, whether it be a house, a job, a relationship, a circumstance, a
Yeah, last time,
resolution.
so you and I were talking about we are feeling big changes coming, but we feel so good, even though what that's gonna be. Remember we're talking about that? We
I
have no
do,
idea, no picture, no vision, but we just feel good and feels right.
and we know it's coming, and
Mm-hmm.
we're trusting. And so there's the other part of manifestation that we should touch on, which is once we create the image, picture, whatever we're trying to manifest,
No feeling.
situation, the feeling,
Mm-hmm.
as we start trusting the feeling and the knowing, that's when the vision will start coming in. And that's when we might start hearing things. We might start tapping into the divine realms, the other dimensions, the ones that come to help you in manifesting this for yourself. We might start
Yeah.
hearing them. So our other senses start opening up once we trust the ones that we are currently working with.
Mm-hmm.
And what the next step is the trust,
Mm-hmm.
that what you are calling into your reality is coming.
Like the trust part, like last episode I channeled Astor to ask about prayer because prayer is one of the really sure method to manifest something, but I wasn't really sure, should I just pray once to ask what I want
I
or
watched your
should I pray
video.
pray traditionally like daily because that makes, I don't know, but are they going to be really annoyed by that? That was my question. And then Asta was saying, well, you're saying this, so it's gonna strengthen your congruency about your feeling, how you're manifesting. It's not about how they hear us, they heard once, it's enough, but it's about us for our own sake to
It is what we wish, like
yeah,
like what Ashtar said. It's whatever you're comfortable with, but I will throw this in there for your consideration.
yeah,
I've always been taught, my mentor, many, many years ago, um, that the key to creationship is talk about it or think about it in gratitude as if it's already happened.
yeah.
Okay. So I think that's actually in the Bible. I think that, I don't remember what book, I'm not a Bible girl, but I
Yeah,
remember
we're both
reading it,
Catholic.
that yes, that when you speak in prayer, you speak in terms of thanks, because whenever we put want or begging or desperation into the picture, that energy will return back to us. We don't want and desperation and begging to come back. What we want is, I say, thank you for sending this into my life or bringing this into my life. So that's a form of prayer. And what the universe says, oh, we're going to give her what she's thanking us for because she already has it.
Because it's like gratitude prayer, right? Thanking, like,
That's, I think, yeah.
and I remember like when I was going to sleep when I was a kid, I was, saying thank you for everything happening in my life daily.
Yeah, because as kids, we are so connected. We haven't forgotten yet or had it socially programmed out of us that we are connected.
Yeah.
And so we would naturally know how to pray in a way that's creative. Um,
So when stuff already happened when we do the prayer, that is same thing as my guide was talking about, the feel it. Because once you feel it, it's already happened.
yeah, yeah. And, you were saying earlier that once we get into 5D, the manifestations are going to happen faster. And I'll tell you, I think I go between,
Mm-hmm.
the dimensions. I don't think I'm like all 5D all the time. And sometimes when I'm channeling or I'm working with people doing a session, 6, 7, and 8, right? Depends
Mm-hmm.
on where that person needs to go. And then sometimes I drop back down into 3. Um, the kicker is that once we get to the higher vibrations, that manifestation becomes more instant. So we really have to be careful what we're thinking about.
Oh yeah.
What is our focused attention, right? So, you hear something, I don't watch the news, and I do that on purpose because I don't want their fear and their scare and their whatever they're trying to sell us at the time. I don't want that breaking into my energy vibration.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
I don't do fear, okay? And if fear comes up into my field, I allow it, I ask it, what's it about? Where's this coming from? And then I quickly realize what it is and I'm able to let it go. So I'm not saying I don't experience fear, but what I'm saying is I don't entertain it. I don't invite it in and give it a drink and ask it to sit down and hang out with me.
Yeah, like intentionally, right?
That's focus, right?
Some people,
Anything.
yeah, some people, they fear about not feeling negative feelings. But my guide was saying, when that comes up, for whatever the reason, right? We gotta feel through it, so then we can let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still humans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are all powerful creative beings, but we're having a human experience. And so what that means is we're going to still have human emotions. And
Yeah,
it's not that we're not spiritual when those emotions come. We
yeah,
have to allow that. I mean, that's part of the yin and the yang, that's part of the all, and the difference between, you know, being in separation, saying something's good or bad, or accepting unity consciousness, which means all of it's okay,
yeah,
right? So when we're trying to be super spiritual, but we're not allowing ourselves to have something that we think is not good, we're actually divorcing ourselves from a piece of our own self. Whereas
yeah.
when we're trying to bring together
Mm-hmm.
unity consciousness and all of our power, accepting those parts that we don't necessarily like is part of that process.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's really important. And
Yeah,
then,
and then the focus is what makes the difference. So I'm not focusing on my shadow side, but I'm just simply accepting that it exists.
yeah, it
If
shows
I
up, shows
choose to
up.
be, like some all-powerful controller of a society, like say I wanted to be a politician, just for example, and I could do that. That could be my focus. I could create that, and I could be controlling people. That's just not something I'm interested in. So we always have the choice.
Yeah,
What is our focus on?
yeah. So, when negative emotion comes up, as long as we don't focus on doesn't mean we don't feel through isn't focusing means intentionally you
Yeah,
are intentionally putting yourself into the environment even though it's not coming to you,
right. Yep.
like watching news for example. That's what we are talking about. I wanted to clarify about that. But like when we are manifesting, my guide was saying mostly about what kind of vibration we are vibrating, because how much we are vibrating, that's the timeline, the world we are creating. So it's about vibration. Like, how are we vibrating? Like, we all have a core vibration, no matter what kind of emotions coming to us, right? At the moment, our
Mhm.
core vibration,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know.
And the vibration of what we're asking for in
Mm-hmm.
since we're talking about manifestation.
Yeah.
So if I'm asking for, okay, I'm going to manifest $1,000,000, right? That
Mm-hmm.
has an energy to it. Or if I say thank you and I allow all of the abundance that the universe can send my way, all of it, I allow it all and thank you for all of the abundance. So that includes love, that includes
Yeah.
stability, that includes financial stability, your work environment, your interactions with people and children, because abundance isn't just money.
And health too. Health. Abundance
Health,
of health.
everything that you can think of under the heading of love, it is and that's abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're manifesting, obviously if you have a certain intention, like you do want to bring more physical wealth into and also we have to check our belief about things too. That adds to the vibration. So if we believe that money is the root of all evil, that's going to be a problem in manifesting.
Oh,
Because if your intentions are good and you believe yourself to be a lighter being and you believe money's evil, then you're not going to bring that into your life. So we need to
also,
change our thought and our belief about money if that's what we're trying to manifest. Does that make sense?
it does. And I want to add something. If you guys don't like particular rich people, that is not helping you to become wealthy, because you're going to be the one, and then subconsciously you are avoiding to become the one because you are passionately hate certain rich person.
Yeah, good point.
Have a good example about the rich people. I do have several people that I've met who are extremely wealthy. So now I understand having money got nothing to do with their personality. Some rich people are amazing and free
Yeah,
in giving, and then some rich people are asshole, just like we are, So it's not about how much money you're making. Like, your personality doesn't change just because you have money.
right, exactly. I mean, the ones that don't get the credit for what they give, and there's a reason behind that because they don't want the credit. They give out of the kindness of their hearts. I know doctors, lawyers, business people that they they do things, what do you call it, when they do it for free?
Compassion, like pro bono
Pro
work.
bono, that's the word I'm looking for.
Mhm.
They do it, the service for free. Or even Doctors Without Borders, they go to these, countries and they're not charging fees for it. They're really basically just getting what they need to survive, like their food, their shelter, and all of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
These are the ones that are unheralded, but they are people that tend to have wealth that
Oh yeah, because they can
we can
afford
focus
to do
on
that
them.
as well.
Yeah, we can
They
look at
already
that
accomplished.
example. So it
Mhm.
isn't the thing itself, is what you're saying, that is the issue. It's what the person that has the thing does with it.
Yeah, it's kind of magnifying their personality, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is, those of you who want to be rich, have a good example of rich person you have in your life, so you can get rid of your prejudice toward them. Okay, and then before we close out, do you have any last tips for the manifestation for our audience?
Yeah. If you have a high vibrational intention and that's where you put your focus, it's going to happen. I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, and you have to believe that. Send out the gratitude like it's already happened, and it will come. How about you?
Well, my recommendation is, of course, feel it, and then feel it daily. That's gonna strengthen your belief about it's coming.
Yep.
And after you do that, trust it. Your team hard it. Once they are definitely hard it, but you're just doing it daily for yourself. So you can one feel it, and you can immerse yourself into that field, and then you can cultivate your trust within, like whatever thing gonna happen to you.
Oh, before we go, I gotta find the book. Hang on, I think it's under my computer. If you really want to read an amazing story about somebody that completely manifested health in their life, and
Mhm.
so health is one thing we can manifest, but money, anything else, it's going to work. Anita Moorjani, Dying to Be Me.
Uh-huh.
I highly, highly recommend reading this. It's not a hard read. It's kind of a quick read. And I'm a slow reader, but she was stage 4 cancer, multiple sites, end stage failure of a number of organs, went into coma, had these experiences, near death experience, she calls it, but I just say like she took time to talk with her counsel and she decided that she was going to manifest the life that she wished for. And she talks a lot about how to do that. So I really love this book. Gives some great, and I actually talked to Anita Moorjani once. I was in a group meeting with some fellow quantum healers. Amazing, amazing energy. And she's so honest about what she had to let go of and in order to receive her fondest desires. So we're not just talking money, we're talking relationships, we're talking the kind of work that she wanted to do in her life, and stop pleasing family,
Yeah,
right? Because there are cultural aspects that she talks about, which I think apply to anybody, because we all have a culture of some kind that we come from, right?
definitely.
Yeah, so that's a really, I recommend that book. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I hope I didn't.
No, that was a good recommendation. So thank you so much for sharing. Sue and I gonna talk to you guys about next week. Thank you so much. Please
Thanks.
share, like, subscribe, and we see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Bye.